Good morning, it is Tuesday the 13th of June. We are at Euston station and we are about to jump aboard a train and make our way up to Birmingham. But before we do, we have a very special guest with us, the chairman of Network Rail, Sir Peter Hendy. Good morning, Sir Peter.
Hi.
Welcome to all the stations. Good morning, Sir Peter. Thank you again for joining us this morning. Our first question to you, as you know, we are travelling to all the stations in Great Britain. How many of the stations in Great Britain do you think you have been to?
Crikey, I've been on most of the railway in most of Britain. I haven't done everything, which is what you'll have done.
You very kindly sponsored all the stations, and we noticed that one of your adopted stations was Dalston Junction. Is there a story behind that?
Well, I was there when it was opened. That was the bit of the overground from Dalston to New Cross and New Cross Gate and onto Crystal Palace, and that was opened by Boris in 2008.
In 10 years' time, 10, 15 years' time, what do you think will be the biggest changes to the network?
The railway's going through an extraordinary revival. You're two of the people who have doubled passengers in the last 20 years, and it's going to carry on growing. I think we'll look back on today and see a railway in a permanent state of change, but improvement, not decline, simply because there isn't any alternative. If you want to go to Manchester from here, from London in 2 hours, this is the only way to do it, you know?
What do you feel might be the things when you're travelling on trains in the future that will be easier? What do you think will become easier, and what might be the challenges? What might become harder?
One of the things that is coming is there sometimes mostly is connectivity. So one of the advantages of travelling on a train is that you can work, though actually it's also quite fun to look out the window, which I like doing too. What's harder is that the railway is getting fuller. So actually the trains are getting longer and there'll be more trains, but they will be fuller, and I think that people will have to adapt themselves to the fact that you will have somebody sitting next to you, but that's a good thing for the railway. When I joined the transport industry 40 years ago, the whole place was in decline, and now it's not, and that's a much better challenge to face.
So Peter, thank you very much again for joining us this morning.
And I hope the rest of the trip goes well.
Thank you very much. We are just leaving Euston on an overground train.
Because it's not some of the stations,
It's all the stations.
which means we have to get the stopper.
So our plan for today is, we call this the Watford, Bletchley, Bedford, St Albans, Northampton, Birmingham Day.
Catchy.
Exactly, yeah. From Euston, stopping train to Watford Junction, do this on Albans line, go to Abbey, walk to City, then come down Thameslink back to London. We've got to go back to London into St Pancras, and then turn around and go north out of London to go to Bedford. We have to change at Luton to get the stopper, then go to Bletchley, then get the Bletchley to Watford train, and then up through Berkhamsted, Milton Keynes to Birmingham New Street tonight.
The next station is
Easy.
Please mind the gap.
Part they really wanted on this section, wanted up to Harrow and Milton, wanted to get a tube train, because that would have counted if we got the Bakerloo line. The Bakerloo line shares all the station stops up to Harrow with the London Overground. If we had have done, it would have been valid, just saying. But we're on time. I was reading in this morning's Time Out magazine on the way here that former Capital Radio and Heart FM DJ Pat Sharp, who's trying to bring back Funhouse to TV, lives in Bushey. They did an interview with him, like, I'm a Londoner, and they were like, but Bushey's not London. And he's like, aha. I'm telling him my interesting Pat Sharp story. He says Bushey's only 19 minutes from London, but it's just taken us 40 minutes to get there because the overground stops everywhere. It takes 40 minutes. If you get the fast train to London Midland, then it only takes 19 minutes. He's not wrong. I like Funhouse. Vic is sad because we've come to Watford and we're not going to Harry Potter World. Instead, we're getting the train for platform 11.
Look at my cat. We've not been on this one before. I would wear a dress made out of it. We're at St Albans Abbey. We're excited to discover something new. So we were at Market Rasen the other day and we saw on the platform an area that had been raised to reduce the step up onto the train, and we were like, this is amazing. And in doing research for this line, as you can see, there's quite a step down from the train here, and they also have the same infrastructure, and it's called a Harrington hump because it was piloted at Harrington Station.
You go to that station?
Yeah, City Station.
We're on a bus. Appears to be, there are 2 stations in St Albans. One is this one, St Albans Abbey. The other one is St Albans City, which is on the main Thameslink main line. And this bus takes us between the 2 stations. And it costs £1. £1.
That's really good.
I didn't know this bus was here. Handy.
How much you being like this? 21 quid.
So something rather interesting just happened. We've had to double back to St Pancras, where we were due to get the 12:40 out. But because at St Albans we got that bus, which I didn't know about, we got an earlier train out of St Albans, the one before I thought we'd get, and we shouldn't have then made the next northbound train at St Pancras. But this one is now running 2 minutes late. We're going to make it and be half an hour ahead. Here's our train.
We will be calling at St Albans City, Harpenden, Luton Airport Parkway and Luton.
One of the things that I like about the new Class 700s is what they call a PIS, Passenger Information Systems. And it just so happens, of course we clapped it, we have a man getting on the train right now here at St Albans who can tell us all about them.
Weren't we just here?
Yes. Now I know Matt, in his spare time he works on the Ruislip-Lido Railway. In fact, in the top right hand corner right now, Matt will link to that video. But your main day job is playing not with little trains, but what I like to call big boy trains. And in particular, you've been part of the process of the design of the new Thameslink trains and this, the PIS. Can you tell us about your involvement?
So basically, the Class 700's got these new TFT passenger information systems, which obviously is on the mainline railways. You see the LED dot matrix ones. So it's a whole new sort of concept. So it allows us to sort of present information in a completely different way. The great thing about these trains is that they've got real-time information. So they've got basically mobile phones on them. So we can send real-time information from our control centre to these.
What does it do when the train's in a tunnel and it can't get a signal?
It remembers the last bit of information it has. That shows you the last of the information.
It does even it gives you a time stamp.
It's got a time stamp
On when that was last updated. This is my favourite, the tray loading indicator.
So
it knows where you are, tells you where the front is, and it
little geeky things. These are actually, I got the actual technical drawings for the train, put them into Illustrator and then drew around them and then scanned it. So that is actually
you're responsible for this actual
for that
design.
drawing. Yeah. So I've drawn that.
Yeah, how does it weigh it?
So it knows it knows the weight of an empty coach, and then it's basically got 5 different thresholds. And as people get on, it assumes that of an average person about 75 kilograms. And as people get on, there's in the suspension, where the wheels are, there's like airbags, and there's a little needle in there. And basically, when people start to get onto the train, that gets heavier and heavier, and then when it reaches past certain thresholds, that will change. You go up to
yellow or orange or red.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
Matt, thank you so much.
no problem.
Please make sure you have all your belongings and take care as you leave the train.
So you see those right in the distance, there's two massive hangars. That's a place called Cardington.
Right.
You go up close to them, they are absolutely gigantic. I think they've got some sort of like title for like being the biggest like freestanding structure or something like that. Or Top Gear. I'm sure it was Top Gear did something where they had the caravan, and James May had the caravan, and you have the big airship on top of it. I'm sure that was Cardington.
We unexpectedly have an hour in Bedford, so I am gonna dash as far as I can into the town centre to see what I can find. Batman. I hear there's a cathedral, there used to be a church, there's the river, into which apparently Offa, King of Mercia. His burial site has, over the years, washed into the river. Wonderful old building. I'm not exactly sure what it is. It says the Harpur Centre. So that's what I was looking for. Castle Mound. Still got time. I made it to the River Great Ouse, which coincidentally there is also a River Great Ouse in King's Lynn. There's no longer an actual castle here, but there is the mound on top of which the castle was originally built. They're playing Dolly Parton. To another world.
We're getting the Marston Vale line, and this is the line that runs between Bedford and Bletchley. And I've been here before because this is the least used station in
Bedfordshire.
Thank you. So this is where we go through Aspley Guys, but we've got a special thing happening at Ridgmont station. We've been told to expect a surprise, but we don't know what the surprise is.
Alexandria, our guard on the train.
Who's over there, by the way?
We were about to get in the other carriages, 2 carriages on this train, and she said, oh, excuse me, I've been asked if you could sit in this carriage. So she knows what's going on. So we're just coming into Ridgmont. There's a heritage centre attached to the station, and Richard from London Midland is meeting us.
You don't normally do this, I would say.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Ridgmont.
Thank
Got
you
some tea
so
and some
much.
cake for you.
Thanks very much. See you guys later.
Thank you.
We've got Victoria sponge cake, which is amazing, and some tea.
China
You guys haven't got a cup.
Teapot.
You can see what they've done. You can see it.
This is incredible. Thank you so much. Can I be mum and pour the tea? Milk in first or milk in first? Oh, good tea. Oh, it's good tea.
Is it?
It is good tea.
I don't really like tea.
Oh yes.
We've made it to Bletchley on the brilliant Marston Vale line. The man that brought us tea was not only Stephen, part of the community rail programme, but Richard Cousins, who's the Marston Vale service delivery manager. Even though you've told me off camera what that means, could you tell for the viewers, Richard, what does a service delivery manager for the Marston Vale line do?
I work a lot with our fleet team to see what we can do to improve the performance of the units. Like for example, the last year or so, we've increased our station engineer coverage at Bletchley.
The community lines are a good thing. Like when you were first approached, I'm not sure how long it's been running, perhaps you can tell me, but was your reaction like, oh, we're not sure about that, or hey, that's a great idea? Should there be more community lines on the network?
But there should be definitely more for lesser used lines, because it enables the train companies to focus more on getting the best out of them.
And you guys have got to go and jump on your train, otherwise we're going to leave your tea tray behind.
Yes, we've got to take our tea train back. It's got to be guarded.
So thank you so much for the tea. That was
Excellent.
an amazing moment.
Master Harry Potter. Can we get on it, Jeff? Weren't we just here?
Yes.
Oh, hi.
I'm not saying that the person who devises the London Midland timetable is as evil as the Chiltern one, but they come a close second, because we've missed out King's Langley and Apsley, and we've had to come back down to Watford Junction, and then get a Tring change. We change at Berkhamsted, and then change, I think, at Watford again, and then change at Milton Keynes, and then eventually get to Birmingham, just because it's hard. Stopping at every station.
It's hard, man.
But timetabling point of view, tricky.
This train is the southern service to Milton Keynes Central. We are now approaching Bletchley.
Weren't we just here?
Yes.
Bletchley station is next door to Bletchley Park, which was the hub of the secret code-breaking operations during the Second World War. One of the many interesting things about Bletchley Park is that its location for the centre of code-breaking operations was chosen in part because of its distance between Oxford and Cambridge universities. And actually I have a friend whose parents, one was from Oxford, one was from Cambridge, and Bletchley Park was their meeting point. So smart thinking.
Where on the last train of the day, going up to Birmingham, I've found it to be a really weird...
We are now approaching Rugby. Please make sure that you have all of your...
It's been a strange day because we've started in London, familiar territory. We've been through Astley Eyes and Watford and places like familiar places to me, but now we're ending on a train into the West Midlands, into Birmingham, which is unfamiliar territory. I don't know, I found today, it's like an odd day. I felt very odd about today.
We met a lot of people.
We met a lot of people, we did a lot of things. It seemed very busy. Looking forward to just chugging around the easy suburbs of Birmingham.
Easy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're now arriving into Rugby. Change at Rugby for London Midland services to Crewe via Nuneaton.
Do you want to make a joke about playing rugby at Rugby?
Thank you. London Rugby is our next station stop.
Let's not.
Wasn't invented here.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Press subscribe. That would help.
The button down.
We will be calling at...
Matt's just reminded me.
You're going to get it at Luton, because I think when we changed
Could you say it in your best broadcast voice? Look at the camera and say it.
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform.
It's his voice. It's his actual voice. I didn't realise.